point, sports and entertainment. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you sub to the channel if you're not a member. And also hit those notifications as well so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. Salute to the whole entire LDBC, basketball and boxing. You know how I'm rocking. And salute to all the people that rock with me. Day ones as well as my new subs that have come aboard. The Cash App is straight to the point, 77. If you'd like to donate. And please share this video too as well. I do have some breaking news that is coming out of Dallas from the Dallas Cowboys. And according to reports and multiple sources and multiple reports, Trayvon Diggs has been waived by the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. They decided to go ahead and cut ties with Trayvon Diggs. The cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm gonna progressively talk about this and wait for some people to get up in here, but I'm pretty sure that this is circulating right now. And everybody that has watched my channel knows how I feel about this situation. I appreciate y'all coming in. Please hit the like when you come in. Like button, like button, like button. Can you hear me now, Steven? Make sure you go sub to the brother Stephen Green, and please hit that like when you come in here. Please hit that like. What's up with it, Octavius? I see you in the building. You said Cowboys need to cut ties with the whole entire defense. Okay, we definitely gonna talk about it. Look, Steven, it was time. Okay, and I've been saying this time and time again. I agree with what Octavius just said. The only problem with that is your whole defense pretty much was Michael Parsons when they let him when they went ahead and Jerry had let him off the hook in terms of you know going to the Packers. And the thing about it is Trayvon Diggs has always, every time you were turned around, he's always hurt. Okay, ever since he got his money. Now, when he was healthy, starting out, we're talking about a Pro Bowler. We're talking about a Pro Bowler, man. You know what I'm saying? Him and Michael Parsons were killing on that defense at one point. But when he got his money, Steven and Octavius, guess what ended up happening? You started to slowly, every time you turned around, it was always something wrong with him. He was always hurt. He can't stay healthy. Now, people wanted to sit up there and they wanted to talk all this negative about Michael. Talking about irrelevant podcasts, but the one thing that you couldn't say about Michael Parsons is that he did not show up. They would say this stuff like he wouldn't show up in the playoffs and stuff like that. Well, at least Michael Parsons was available, and I'm going in the past because we know that Michael Parsons is over there with the Cowboys. You are a Cowboy fan. Uh, the Cowboys have waived former Pro Bowler Trayvon Diggs. Okay, they're starting to clean house now. Are you saying no, 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 no? I'm not. No, I'm not saying he was faking his injuries. You're a liability, though. Look. I never question, somebody faking their injuries, especially like it's when in football. Nah, you can't fake no injury in football. You know, really, you can't fake um any injury. I mean, you could kind of blow it out of proportion and say, oh yeah, well, my hip hurts, and then you could say, well, I might need a hip replacement, or hey, my back hurts. Oh well, you know what, I got a I got a slip disc or something like that, or something's messing with with my tailbone or something like that. But I'm not gonna question anybody's body or how they feel or anything like that. But the thing about it is you're never available. And you've gotten your money, and it's like, well, damn, every time you turn around, you seem to be hurt. What are you doing in the off season? That's what we gotta ask. I've always asked that about everybody. So, um, but I didn't like the fact that they had all this ammunition for Michael Parsons. They were trying to drive him away, but they never gave the smoke to Trayvon Diggs. And listen, I want to be clear about something. I like Trayvon Diggs. I happen to like him, especially when he's healthy. Did he do some things on the field? Some team will get him fast. Not like that. Not like you think, Steven. Because first you got to look. They're gonna have to take on the money. You gotta look at the money. You gotta look at his contract, and then also you gotta look at him being an injury liability. People are always these picked them up, picked them up. Well, guess what? You're gonna be a headache for another team. That's another organization. Like for instance, if he was to go to a place like the Jags probably wouldn't be interested in him. You know why? Because it's like, well, damn, we don't want to. We have Travis Hunter, and he just had surgery and everything like that. Why are we going to get somebody that possibly can't stay healthy? I'm just giving a prime example. You know, these guys are trying to build up. They want guys that are going to be healthy on the field. And Trayvon Diggs has shown his inability over the last couple of seasons to not stay healthy, man. That's just the fact of the matter. Thank y'all for hitting the like. I appreciate y'all coming in. Straight to the point. And if you're just joining me, the Cash App, the $ straight to the point, 77 if you like to donate. Brown Sugar, if you put that in there, the Cash App is $ straight to the point, 77 if you like to donate. But, like I said, this right here is a clear indication of the Cowboys cleaning house. And I think that this right here is what they needed to do. They needed to go ahead because they're trying to make moves. Now, I know there's been some people, they've been whispering, they've been kind of saying, okay. Now me, I care about that because he did have a historic season. He had an MVP like season. But at the same time, it's not going nowhere. And we got to be real. As much as I like that, you're going on seven. You're going on 11 years. Appreciate it, Brown Sugar. Thank you. You're going on 11 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 11 years. Next year will be 11 years for Dak. That's that's more than a decade. You know, and team is going to pick him up fast. Well, he's a year older. He's a year. Then on top of that, you got to take into consideration his body. His body. These guys are getting younger, especially in that secondary, especially with these receivers now. Nah, man. And I just don't. I don't see no team just reaching out to him. That fast. Now, I'm a believer in bouncing back and being able to. That's the question. Like his about his brother. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get some more information on that before I start because that's what they want to do. As much as people might not like the Diggs and don't like Stephon Diggs and the fact that he's with Cardi B and all this other stuff, I'm not gonna hold you. I think that Stephon Diggs has had a great season. I think he's an excellent fit for what the Patriots are doing. They're winning, and all they're trying to do is probably bring a distraction. This that happened on the to, yeah. Hold on one sec, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Steven. There's high expectations, and I mean, these people they're looking at these teams, they're looking at Chicago Bears, they're looking at the Rams, they're looking at even Green Bay, even though they having some injury problems, they're looking at how flamboyant Green Bay has been playing on both sides of the ball. They're looking at the AFC, what they've been doing. Multiple teams doing good in the AFC. You got the Broncos doing good. You got the Patriots, like I just said. You know what I'm saying? You got the Jaguars doing good. Hell, you got the Texans doing good as well. Even though they, on the offensive side, things are a little shaky, but their defense is is great. You know, they're looking at teams, that are progressing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at the Seahawks. You understand what I mean? They're looking at these teams. They're like, well, dang, why do we keep getting passed up by these other teams and stuff? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel that what what the Cowboys are doing right now. Oh, they're here to not. they're not here to play any games and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand where their problem lies. Now, it was stupid from the beginning. I told them, Michael Parsons, you know what I'm saying, man, you should have did everything that you could to keep Michael Parsons, man. For real, that was the downfall. Now, I know some people are like, well, he's hurt, and all this other stuff. But look at where Green Bay is at. Babyface Young. What's up with it, S Young? You said my prediction always come to light. And what prediction was that? That the Cowboys didn't make it? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're talking about Michael Parsons, Green Bay was in position to make the playoffs, and they were doing good on both sides of the ball. So that stuff that you were saying about Michael Parsons is irrelevant. You never mentioned Diggs, though. What I noticed, you never had any smoke for Diggs and what he was doing, but it was always Michael Parsons, whether it was about his podcast or him failing to show up in the playoffs and stuff like that. But somehow, some way, as Young, I find it ironic that he was still able to show up and be available for games, unlike Diggs, who was missing significant time. But we don't want to talk about that though. You said reason why because Diggs don't brag like that. What's there to brag about? I mean, the fact that you're hurt every single time, the fact that you can't show up. You're supposed to be a Pro Bowler. You got a boatload of money, but you don't show up. There's nothing to brag about. Need to get rid of Jerry Jones. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. that that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? The only way that happened, and that's what Brown Sugar said. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it would have to be him transitioning. That would be the only way he would be gone. But like I said, as Young, if that's really you, if if we're looking at listen, if we're looking at it from a totality and pros and cons standpoint, what Michael Parsons brought to the table outweighs, or it did outweigh more than pretty much anybody on that team, uh, to a certain extent. Besides Dak Prescott, it outweighs CeeDee Lamb. Okay, I know CeeDee Lamb. You know, y'all praise him and stuff like that or whatever. But let's just call it what it is. CeeDee Lamb has always been amongst the top 3 to 5 in drop passes. You understand? At one point, he led in drops, and then on top of that, he can't catch a ball under pressure. Dak has put the ball in his hand so many times, and he just failed to catch it. Then on top of that, you talk about everybody talks about, oh, Michael Parsons this, Michael Parsons that. Michael Parsons, when he first came in, was playing with guys who couldn't stay healthy on both sides of the linebacker position. Then on top of that, you got linemen that couldn't stay healthy, offensive linemen and defensive linemen. You know, Dak was getting hurt. You know, this person was hurt. Then on top of that, you got your mate back there in the secondary, and Trayvon Diggs got his money. Then next thing you know, he turns around. Every time he turns around, he's hurting. Come on, man. You can't. That's been my only thing. That's what I was telling Brown Sugar too. I was like, I'm not gonna put everything all on Dak. Football is cohesive. We can't re-sign Pickens. Yeah, you can, but right now the primary concern, I think they're going in the right direction. It has to be defense. That, believe it or not, I'll give the Cowboys credit. On the offensive side of the ball, they're better than most. They're better than most. They have 2 high-powered receivers. Now, I give CeeDee Lamb his props. He showed up this year. You know what I'm saying? Along with Pickens, I still don't see CeeDee Lamb as like a true number one though. You know what I'm saying? But he's still he's still high powered. You know what I'm saying? He can't catch the ball in certain situations, in which you need him to. But I think the Cowboys made a you never want anybody to lose their job or to be relieved of their duties or anything like that. But in a case like this, he was a liability. He was a liability, Stephen. He was a liability, Brown Sugar. Because y'all are true Cowboys fans. Ash Young, he's not a Cowboy fan, but he knows the sport of football. Ash Young knows that he was a liability. Appreciate you, Brown Sugar. Yes, donate to the Cash App. My Cash App is straight to the point, 77. If you like to donate, but some people might be like, "Well, why are we talking about this?" Da, 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 da. To me, this is showing that okay, hey, we got to shake some things up. They're immediately getting to work, you know, and everybody's on a tight leash. I kind of like this. I kind of feel like okay, because I've always said this. In order for them to move forward, you have to do something about the situation with Diggs because we don't want to turn it into him stealing money and everything. But Jerry Jones allowed it. Stephen Jones allowed it, you know? And I imagine if if they don't get it done this year with Dak, they're gonna cut ties with Dak too. And there's gonna be a similar situation that's going on with the Ravens too. That's what I wanted to tell you about the Ravens. There's maybe Lamar Vikings. Hearing a lot about of talk about him going to the Miami Dolphins. You know, where he will end up, we don't know. But one thing's for certain, two things for sure. Okay, Harbaugh or Lamar Jackson, one of them can't be both. That's just what I was telling my brother Cypress TV. Shout out to him. Go sub to his channel. One or the other got to go because they both can't stay there. And then now we have a situation. Not to get off the subject, but I'm just talking about moves that are being made. I just have to say this real quick. You have a situation now where I was trying to talk earlier, and Brown Sugar, she was saying that y'all couldn't hear me and everything, but I'm going to say this: you have a situation now where these guys look revitalized around Tyler Huntley. Now, people are coming into my comment section saying, "Oh yeah, well, stop trying to pin these guys against each other. Huntley and Lamar Jackson, they're both Florida guys. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm looking at it from a standpoint, from an organizational standpoint and a business standpoint too. Yeah, you said Huntley. Yeah, yeah. He listen and look. This is what I wanted to say too, Stephen. This is what I wanted to say. I wasn't trying to be a prisoner of the moment, but okay, I look at like Jaden Daniels, right? They really didn't have no film on him. They didn't have no film on him, but guys around him were energetic. They were playing good around him. He was a good teammate. He was even bringing the best out of Debo and everything. But they came up short. You know what I'm saying? But they had an excellent season last season, right? Now I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but look at how Derrick Henry is playing. Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry, I hadn't seen him smile like that in a couple weeks. And like I'm saying, like those guys, they put up 42 points. And look, I know he only had like what? I don't even think he had that much yardage. You know what I'm saying? I think he had like 100 and something yards. He had like 100 and something yards. He didn't throw for over 200 yards. He had a good game managing game. But guess what? He was in the hundreds in terms of his QBR, and they got the win. I know they were depleted. The Green Bay Packers were depleted, but a win is a win. They'll take it right now. They need any win that they could get, and they got to play the Steelers next week. You said Ravens should be tired of Jackson with the same result, and that's what I'm saying. We don't like to have these conversations. Everybody gets all mad at me when I bring the truth to the table, or when I say that Patrick Mahomes has a better resume than him. Patrick Mahomes got a better resume than Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth. Those guys have consistently came up short. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen has consistently came up short, because I'm not going to just throw Lamar Jackson in there. Josh Allen has came up short too. But we talking about Lamar Jackson right now. You know what I'm saying? And he's consistently came up short. Listen, he's been with them a while. They're they're trying to get to a Super Bowl. They're trying to win again, you know. And I'm not letting Harbaugh off the hook, because I've said multiple occasions I think Harbaugh got to go too. But I'll get into that at another time. I wanted to talk about that on a solo tip. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to mix two different subjects, but again, man, before I go ahead and close again, Trayvon Diggs has been waived by the Dallas Cowboys. You know, it's unfortunate for Diggs, but I think that it will be a fortunate situation for the Cowboys. I think that they want to get somebody who is reliable, uh, and on top of that, they've got him off the books too as well. He's not happy there. It's obvious. Well, yeah, of course. Listen, if you're talking about Lamar Jackson, yes, he's at odds with the organization. He is. He's at odds. And one thing I say this, I give props to Brown Sugar about her bringing that up. Look, they could have, all these years, they've had a chance to put a high power receiver around him. Everybody talks about, oh yeah, he can't throw the ball, but check this out. Um, give him a receiver to throw the ball to, and maybe something will happen. But I'm finna go ahead and roll out. Make sure y'all like the video, share, subscribe, hit the notifications as well. Straight to the point. Shouts out to the whole entire LDBC, basketball and boxing. Donate to the Cash App. My Cash App is $. Straight to the point, 77. Till then, I'm out.